There's scissors for you. You want to just stand here?
Stand beside me. We can hang on together.
We got to squeeze in.
Just trying to hold.
It's the wrong color. It's definitely the wrong color.
Yes, sir. I'll be there right on time.
Hold the scissors up there. Okay, actually, I can't see the two gentlemen.
Terrifying.
Okay, great. Everyone looking here?
Smiling.
Smiles, everyone.
Just one here, okay? Wow.
We'll get one go. Ready to cut? Are we cutting? Are you listening? I'm good. Okay. Who's counting?
Nobody.
Nobody's counting.
Tell us when you're ready. 1, 2, 3.
Cleopatra or Olivia? Very good question, actually. We came to the conclusion that Olivia was better.
I didn't know Olivia. She's now giving me a little rendition of that. Mother of
Siberia and wife of... Thank you. You guys now, I think we're working.
We're waiting until...
Oh, okay.
All dressed up because you did something to get that crazy about it. Then I think you practice teaching. And then what happens is that you begin to read about
Thank you very much again for who's in charge of the chemotherapy, Stuart and Ruth Coxford and family chemotherapy and medical day unit, to talk about the chemotherapy section of the unit, and that is this area we're in. And then we're going to call on individual donors who directed their gift to a specific area to come up and have an official unveiling of the plaque. Then we're going to have everybody sit down and have a short official presentation to all the donors. So now I'm going to introduce Linda Miles.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for coming, everyone, this evening. This is a very, very special time for all of us. I've worked at York Central Hospital for many years, and I've certainly been involved with the chemotherapy clinic off and on over the years. And I've watched the unit go through transition. I've watched them grow and change and develop and become a very integral part of the organization. And I've watched them really persevere in less than ideal conditions over the years. The unit that they worked on 3 South was tiny and very, very tight and very challenging. They were moved downstairs to a temporary unit that was our old labor and delivery unit, and certainly less than ideal again for chemotherapy and med day. We are honored and thrilled to be able to finally be in this wonderful unit. It's a long time coming. We've had quite a few delays, but we're absolutely thrilled. This is going to be a wonderful place for us to be able to provide excellent patient care. We have a very compassionate group of staff that staff our unit, and I'm absolutely thrilled that they're finally going to have a unit that is clean and beautiful and bright and has good windows, lots of space, and really they'll be able to shine even more. So thank you so much to everyone who's participated in this.
Thank you very much, Linda. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Chemotherapy unit, generously funded by RBC Foundation.
And
I'm a pharmacist working here at York Central Hospital. I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank all of the donors that have donated so graciously to the creation of our satellite pharmacy unit here in the chemotherapy clinic. The pharmacy is particularly excited about the satellite pharmacy that will be situated in the chemotherapy clinic. It is here that we will prepare chemotherapy medication for our patients in a timely fashion. This will allow for a more organized and convenient process for both staff and patients. The flow of patients' visits will be improved since the wait time for medication delivery to the nurses will be decreased significantly. Having an oncology pharmacist and a pharmacy technician based in the chemotherapy suite has several benefits. The pharmacy team will be able to efficiently offer support to the nurses and oncologists, as well as provide medication-related advice to patients and their families. The pharmacist's presence in the chemotherapy clinic will allow for full use of their resourcefulness in evaluating chemotherapy treatment, providing drug information, and making recommendations on medication-related issues. Again, I thank the donors for assisting us to achieve our commitment to patient care. Thank you very much.
3, 1, 2, 3. The pharmacy is generously funded by Scotiabank, Latin Fire, Casino Gala. We're going to hear a bit more about that in a second.
Part of our ambulatory care services at York Central Hospital. It provides us with an opportunity to be able to care for patients in an ambulatory environment and prevent admission to hospital. Sometimes patients require a procedure that can be done through several hours, up to 3 or 4 hours. There might be a little bit of recovery time required. And they do need technical care. They need the care of a nurse, a physician, sometimes pharmacy, sometimes other disciplines. This now gives us the opportunity to really enhance this program and this service at the hospital. We've been limited in what we've been able to provide in medical day in the past because of the resource really being our space. Space has been a huge issue, and now we have an opportunity to have patients referred from the community, have patients referred from the emergency department, have patients discharged from the hospital, and come to our med day unit for treatments and interventions that we'll be able to provide in a single day visit. Things that some of the procedures we'll be doing was our transfusion therapies. We'll be doing paracentesis, thoracentesis, procedures that can again be done in a short period of time, but do need a physician and nursing and other disciplines. So again, we're thrilled. This is now finally happening for us, that we have the space, but the resources, and we'll be able to actually enhance that program and really move it forward. Again, for our patients and people in the community. So thank you so much for everyone who has donated and made this happen for us. Thank you.
Yeah, towards the right here, the unofficial. Oh, I'm sorry. I went too far. Yeah.
Babe's on her.
My apology. Oh, it's right here. I mixed it up.
It's Paul.
Paul, welcome. Thank you. Paul Mintz from Bave Developments made their gift towards the medical day unit and the unofficial day one. Medical day unit is funded by Bave Development Limited. But the beautiful waiting room we're now in was furnished through the personal gift of Heather and Janet and Fraser Nelson and son, I don't know.
Absent Peter.
And absent Peter. Yeah, name it, please. The waiting room gift was funded by Fraser and Janet Nelson and family.
That's right.
We're honored to have but a lot of the Coxford family here for the official unveiling of the Ruth and Stuart Coxford and family chemotherapy and medical day unit. A number of them, they've been working, they've been donating, they do a lot of things for the hospital. We're going to hear more in a few minutes, but we're really pleased and excited to be here today for the official opening. and Family Chemotherapy and Medical Day Unit. About 5 years in the building and working on it, so thank you very much. We are going to ask everybody to move back in and get a chair, and we're going to have the official part of the presentation.
Can I just
Accepting
have
the clock. For celebrate accreditation, a lot of years of work, and it's a great honor. Chief of Staff, Dr. Larry Grossman. My first order of business is to call on Acting President and CEO of York Central Hospital.
Right here.
Oh. Sorry, Joanne. Oh, you're very tall. Joanne Mark. Please welcome Joanne.
Thanks, Bill, and good evening. It's absolutely my pleasure to welcome you here to York Central Hospital to celebrate the official opening of the Ruth and Stuart Coxford and Family Chemotherapy and Medical Day Unit. I absolutely must extend my most sincere appreciation to Ruth and Stuart Coxford and Family, the RBC Foundation and local RBC branches, Scotiabank, the organizing committee, and the participants of the Scotiabank Latin Fire Casino Gala, Paul Mintz and Dave Developments Limited, Fraser and Janet Nelson and family, and members of the Rotary Club of Kleinburg, Nobleton, and Schaumburg for helping us expand and provide a new home for our chemotherapy and medical day units. With more space, we're absolutely in a position to better support the patients we serve, which means that more patients can access these life-saving treatments and services closer to home. Staff, physicians, and most importantly, our patients will benefit from these new facilities. Your support is positively impacting service delivery at York Central Hospital, so we thank you. This past fall, our board approved a new vision for our organization, and that vision is to be the finest community hospital in Canada. And although we still have a long way to go on that journey, the new Ruth and Stuart Coxford and Family Chemotherapy and Medical Day Unit will assist us in achieving that vision. Also, the Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care expressed their continued confidence in our hospital by awarding us $3.7 million planning grant to begin the work on Phase 2 of our redevelopment project. So we immediately mobilized our planning team, and work is well underway in preparing our submission, which will be made at the end of this summer in August. Construction, as I'm sure you're probably aware, on Phase 1 is nearly complete, and while I'm absolutely proud of the beautiful new facilities that we are constructing, I'm even more excited about the changes that are taking place in the way we provide care and deliver service for this community. We've been working very, very hard over the past months to ensure that each and every patient experiences the highest possible standard in expert and compassionate care. And we've achieved steadily and significantly increasing and improved patient satisfaction scores. And I think this is clearly a signal that we're absolutely on the right track. We've also seen considerable improvements in our staff and physician satisfaction scores. So I would suggest we are definitely on the way to becoming the finest community hospital in Canada. We are proud to partner with each and every one of you as we move forward on our continued journey to improve patient care for this community. On behalf of the entire team at York Central Hospital, thank you so much for helping us to turn our vision into a reality. Thank you.
I now want to call on Dr. Matilda Ng from the chemotherapy team.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm most honored and excited to be able to speak to this audience at the grand opening of the chemotherapy unit in York Central Hospital. I began working at this hospital 25 years ago, and over the years, Richmond Hill and the surrounding areas have become the fastest growing area in the province. And along with a rapid population increase, there's an increasing number of cancer diagnoses. And in 2008, Ontario alone had 13,000 cases of newly diagnosed cancer. And the cancer cases that we see at York Central Hospital closely reflect what is most commonly seen in the country. They are breast cancer, colon cancer, and lung cancer. And as part of the cancer treatment strategy, 5 areas were identified by Cancer Care Ontario. They are screening for cancer, surgical treatment, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and palliative care. And York Central Hospital, under the leadership of the Chief of Staff, Dr. Larry Grossman, has strived to keep up and in line with these treatment strategies. And we have been actively addressing all 5 of these aspects of treatment. In terms of screening, York Central is participating hospital for the Ontario Breast Cancer Screening Program. As well, the Breast Wellness Clinic has been established in order to streamline the diagnosis and management of breast cancer. We have also been putting great emphasis in screening and diagnostic colonoscopy. Now, from the surgical perspective, in order to deal with the increasing cases of new cancer diagnosis, Dr. Sarah Ortega has recently joined our surgical department, and her main area of focus would be breast cancer surgery. And this will be in addition to our existing breast surgeon, Dr. Ramabat, our thoracic surgeon, Dr. Mark Lee, and several others, general surgeon, Dr. Luke Bui, Dr. David Wiseman, and Dr. Ellie Fichuri, and Dr. Justin Lee. They are all skilled in laparoscopic GI cancer surgery. Now, for the patients who require radiation, our hospital is in close partnership with the Odette Cancer Center, which is Sunnybrook Cancer Center. And we have multidisciplinary cancer conference that exemplify this type of working relationship, where every 2 weeks we discuss selected cases of cancer management is discussed with video conferencing with the radiation oncologist in Sunnybrook. Now, at the end of the spectrum, York Central has excellent palliative care services as well. This will include the palliative care unit, a group of palliative care physicians like Dr. Brian Berger, and they provide visits in the hospital, at home, and Hill House Hospice. Now, from the systemic treatment point of view, chemotherapy clinic had 5,000 visits last year for 2008, and with a projected growth of about 10 to 15%. So in keeping with the rising number of cancer cases, there's a corresponding increased demand on medical oncology services. So even with the difficulty in recruitment, we are very fortunate to have Dr. Simkovich, a general practitioner with expertise in oncology and palliative care, to join our hospital. So the chemotherapy clinic offers treatment 5 days per week, with most of the treatment given on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. As a medical oncologist, I'm responsible for the treatment plan for the patient, the chemotherapy, radiation, or combination thereof. The patients are assessed on each visit to address their progress and side effects. The pharmacists provide counseling in regards to the chemotherapy drugs. With the new unit, the drugs will be prepared now on site. Clinic nurses with special certification in oncology administer the chemotherapy drugs. They also adapt to response to concern from patients over the phone. As well, procedures like bone marrow biopsy, blood transfusion, caring for the central line, diagnostic procedures are all routinely performed in the clinic. And we have very good rapport with the diagnostic imaging, pathology department, lab service, pharmacy, community care access center, and all of these allow the clinic to serve cancer patients in the most efficient way. Now, what I have just described is just only a part of the broad services we offer. And oftentimes, it's not just the work we do, it's the time, devotion, and the collaborative spirits of the staff that make the clinic special. Therefore, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you, and in particular the clinic staff, the nurses, secretaries, and volunteers. And without their patience and dedication, I don't think we deliver the quality care that we provide, and for which I'm very proud of. And I'm confident with the expansion of the chemotherapy unit, we can improve our service even further. Finally, I'd like to make a very special thank to all the donors, in particular to Ruth Coxford, who has volunteered in the clinic ever since I started at York Central Hospital. She took it as her mission to ensure everyone in the clinic, including myself, are all well taken care of. And over the years,
Dr. Ng. I'm going to call on Mary Neal, who is Director of Operations, Director of Emergency Medicine, Director of Medicine, Director of Utilization and Access at York Central Hospital. Mary.
The wait time strategy. This is such a pleasure to be here. It's been a long time coming, and on behalf of the staff, we want to thank you. I want to thank you for your faith and the fact that this is a reality now. And I also want to take this opportunity on behalf of the hospital to thank the staff, the physicians, the volunteers, the administration, who have worked long and hard to make this a very wonderful unit. So I want to thank everyone for this gift of space. So if you were in our old unit, you know that it's much smaller, that I have watched nurses have to document on their knees because there's not enough tables and flat spaces. We can't find enough spaces for phones, so we've actually got one in the middle of a pole, so the nurses have to walk up to the pole to answer the phone. It was fascinating, actually, as a work process and design situation. So we're really pleased to be here in this space. And so I went to the staff today and asked what they would like you to know about this, and they've got a few comments for you. One is they are thrilled that our patients can receive their care in a bigger, brighter, and more comfortable environment, that this has been a long time coming, that we're thrilled about moving into our new home, and it feels like a new beginning for us. So thank you for the new beginning. We really appreciate it.
I'm going to now call on a former patient to come and tell us a little bit about experience at York Central, Christine Barber. Christine.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here, and I'd like to thank York Central Hospital Foundation for inviting me on this special occasion of the donor recognition. My name is Christine Barber, and I'm pleased to say that I am a cancer survivor. It's not by luck, and it's not by chance, but it's through the intervention of some very skilled and knowledgeable health professionals, the advancement in medical technology.
Respiratory therapy 4103 stat.
It was the intervention of some very skilled, knowledgeable health professionals, the advancements in medical technology, and the good fortune to have access to this first-rate medical establishment like York Central Hospital. A little bit of background about York Central Hospital. I just want to say 3 generations of the Barber family call this hospital their hospital. It is my hospital. My nieces and nephews, my junior siblings were all born here. I worked as a paramedic in the area in the 80s and early 90s and worked closely with the emergency staff, exceptional staff here. So we go back a long way. My family, although thankfully healthy over the years, they had the usual visits to the ER and specialists and labs. But the chemo unit was very foreign to us. It was not something that had touched my immediate family at all, not yet. And then on March the 7th, 2007, a routine scan, a routine mammogram at York Central Hospital revealed a lump in my right breast. I'm touching something here. In my right breast. A series of scans and tests followed, and by the end of April, I was under the skillful knife of Dr. Bat. Great man. I had invasive carcinoma, and it had spread to my lymph nodes. It was a very aggressive cancer. I was 45 years old. My next introduction was to oncologist Dr. Ng. With great patience and compassion, she detailed the treatment process and answered all my questions. And I can't say I was the easiest patient she had to deal with at the first, because there was some resistance. I was stubborn, and I had some other big dreams and plans on the way that chemotherapy was going to get in the way of. But she was very patient and understanding, and with her guidance and reassurance, we found a new path for me. And I finally was on my way to the chemo unit, and wow, what a unit of staff it was. Just amazing people in this unit. Professional team led by Cheryl Ross. She's here today, and I'm glad to see Marcy's here, and Robin and Melinda. They were all my regular chemo nurses. Not only did they provide excellent treatment, they prepared me for the new strange sensations I was going to be experiencing and all the side effects. Their care and compassion was invaluable. Each intervention with staff and volunteers brought a new comfort level for me in the process. Ruth Coxford was the first volunteer to greet me when I entered the clinic with a warm, friendly smile and a willingness to help. Now, Ruth, as we all know, is a very kind person with a gentle touch. And that first meeting, she reached out to me, she touched my arm, and she looked me straight in the eye, and she whispered to me, "I'm a survivor too. You're going to be okay." I've been that for a long time. So it was, Ruth, I can't tell you how comforting that was for me, and I thank you for that. Throughout the course of my chemo, Ruth was there with the hot cup of tea and the warm blanket to keep me comfortable, as she did, as so many other volunteers. There were other volunteers as well. Ruth and I shared a lot of nice conversations together throughout the course of my treatment, and it meant a lot. I believe that, in our lives, in these pivotal moments, you don't always remember the words that are spoken, but you always remember how people made you feel, and I'll always remember how the people made me feel throughout the course, from the receptionists to the volunteers, the nurses, the doctors, right through. It was really great. My chemo was followed by radiation and 18 rounds of Herceptin, and in March 2008, exactly 1 year from diagnosis, following tests, Dr. Ng advised me that we had beaten this cancer. Ironically, that same month, my father, Gord Barber, who's joined us today, was diagnosed with colon cancer. He was also treated at York Central, and today is happy to be cancer-free as well. We were Dr. Ng's 2-for-1 special, a father-daughter team. We both come to the treatments together and the clinic together, and we got a bit of a chuckle out of that. So fighting cancer is as much a mental as it is a physical process. When corporations and families such as the ones being honored here today invest generously in the community, it makes the battle against cancer winnable. All patients need a positive environment to thrive. And for a patient to be able to come to a clinic that is efficient, well-equipped, with competent staff, bright and comfortable like this, and beautiful, it sets a tone as a place of healing, a place of comfort, and a place of hope. And that's what these generous donors have given this community and this hospital, and as a person and a patient who has benefited greatly from the services of York Central Hospital, I thank you all greatly.
Thank you, Christine. I'm going to call on Dr. Nicholas Fedoris, the new chairman of York Central Hospital Foundation.
Ladies and gentlemen, it always strikes me as interesting that cancer is not only one of the most prevalent and harrowing experiences in the medical world, but also one of the strangest. Prevalent in that virtually every single person in this room has been associated with someone who has cancer, who has undergone treatment. As Dr. Ng told us, it's quite a prevalent disease in our community. Harrowing in that we always see in the newspaper someone having passed away because of a long battle with cancer. And strange because it's the only disease that we know that has a mainstay of treatment as not only surgery and radiotherapy, but also chemotherapy. And chemotherapy is this strange thing where you shoot all these drugs into a person and try to kill the cancer and hopefully allow the person to live much better. And I think it's important to point out that although it's often grim and gruesome, it's also very, very effective and allows people to lead a great and fantastic life afterwards, as Christine has pointed out, Mr. Barber and a number of other people. So I think it's really important to point out that York Central Hospital has had a great chemotherapeutic unit for a long, long time. It might have been makeshift, as many people commented. It might have been in smaller circumstances and smaller places than we have right now, but it delivered fantastic care. And I think later on I'm going to talk about some of the donors, but I think it's really important to point out one of the most important donors, Dr. Matilda Eng, because she donated her sweat and her time and all sorts of effort to making this place work. And Christine talked about the 2-for-1 special. We've had it in Dr. Eng in that she's been doing the job of 2 doctors for a long, long time. And I think it's very important to acknowledge I think it's also important to know that as a doctor I have the privilege and the honor to know that this place has done great stuff for people, both on a professional basis. I have a lot of patients who've gone through York Central Hospital with fantastic results. And on a personal basis, I had a former girlfriend who also had breast cancer and went through the system here and did very, very well. So I can tell you, both professionally and personally, that this place is great. But what this room and what this unit and what this place right here does for us now is it really brings us the gold standard in Ontario. It really brings us the gold standard in Canada. It really creates a unit that is second to none and is really out of this world. And even though many of the people like Linda and Matilda have talked about all the technical things that are going to happen here, I just want to talk a little bit more about the philosophical sort of spiritual thing. What this place does is provide dignity for patients who are sometimes not all that dignified, who are really suffering. It provides comfort for people who sometimes don't even know who they're going to get through the day. It provides support for people who are trying to juggle their friends, their family, their work, their life, trying to just sometimes make ends meet. And it provides hope and encouragement for people once they reach their chemotherapy to be reborn, to be revitalized, to reawaken, and to lead wonderful, productive, and healthy lives. So this place is really something, and you are all very much thankful to be thanked for it. What this place does is allowed York Central Hospital to give a guiding and caring helping hand to people who are often going through a very difficult passage in life and reaching a wonderful, better place afterwards. So thank you very much for everybody. You've really made a difference to our hospital. You've really made a difference to our community. You've made a difference for all our friends, our family, our people, and the people in our community. And in this day and age, that's a very, very special thing. Thank you very much. As many of you know, I'm not really used to reading during speeches. I just kind of wing them as I stand up here. But I have to really acknowledge a couple of donors. And the first donors I want to acknowledge are Fraser and Janet Nelson and their family. Now Fraser, I've worked with many, many years and is a wonderful, wonderful friend. He co-chaired the Builders and Developers segment of our Share the Spirit of Care campaign. He is the Vice Chair of York Central Hospital Foundation and Chair of our Major Gifts Committee. Janet Nelson has been actively involved in the organization of the Hip Hip Hooray Walk, and proceeds have been directed to the orthopedic department here at the hospital. Heather Nelson is a ancient history buff. Peter Nelson is going to be one of the greatest landscapers in the world. So we'd like to thank all of them, and Fraser and Janet and family, please come on up.
I can wing it as well as Nick can, but the brevity is, Janet was touched with cancer more than 5 years ago. She had terrific treatment here. She's a survivor. She's proud to participate in all the events that relate to this, and I just want to follow along and count my blessings. Thanks.
The next donor I'd like to recognize is Paul Mintz, who is the president of BAFE Development Limited, a longtime builder and developer in Richmond Hill. When invited to contribute to our Share the Spirit of Care campaign, he quickly responded, and he designated his gift to the Medical Day Unit. Mr. Mintz, thank you very much. next group of donors that I would like to thank are Scotiabank in the presence of Danica Shepard and Brenda Field. I saw Brenda over there. The local Scotiabank branch has joined forces to support their community hospital. The branch managers in the area got together to plan and organize the Scotiabank Latin Fire Casino Gala, which I attended twice. It was a really good time. This event was held annually for 3 years. I must have missed one of them. We are here together today celebrating the result of their success. Scotiabank, together with proceeds from the Latin Fire Casino Gala, as was noted, funded the pharmacy in the chemotherapy and medical day unit, a family quiet room in the emergency department, and pediatrics in the Woman and Child Center. We want to thank you very much, Scotiabank, and to Brenda Field. Please come forward.
Well, on behalf of Scotiabank, I am very pleased to be here tonight. This is quite an honor. I would like to say that when you get together and you celebrate good successes, it sort of has a trickle effect. When Scotiabank decided to get together and have this Latin Fire event, we couldn't think of a better place to donate our funds. At Scotiabank, we believe in making a difference in our communities, both where we live and where we work, and we have several branches located right here in Richmond Hill. We work with our customers to help them become richer in building richer communities by investing in areas of healthcare, education, social services, the arts, and culture. And really, it's part in our DNA to sort of give back. So if you've heard our slogan, which I'm sure you have, "You're richer than you think," it's not just part of a slogan, it's something that we take very seriously in our overall approach to supporting initiatives. So once again, we are honored to be acknowledged for the efforts that were put forth on behalf of all the Scotiabank staff and thanking people that were in attendance. But truly, the honor tonight is being here and witnessing this great experience. So on behalf of Scotiabank, thank you very much.
The next donors I'd like to recognize are the RBC Foundation, together with local branches of the Royal Bank of Canada, who also generously funded our Share the Spirit of Care campaign. It was spearheaded by Maria Bosniak, Regional Vice President, and branches in surrounding communities hosted barbecues, that's okay, sold teddy bears, and undertook a number of other events to raise funds to help fund the chemotherapy unit. They also designated a portion of their gift to fund items that would make the patient visit a more relaxing and comfortable experience. In addition to these activities, Sherry Canning, branch manager at Major Mackenzie in Bayview, has been an active member of our Gala and Share the Spirit of Care campaign, 5-kilometer walk and run committees as well. I invite, I hope I get this right, Ojan Janku from RBC to step forward.
I could wing it too, but I won't. Thank you. I'm delighted to be here today to have a chance to say a few words. But most importantly, to celebrate our community spirit, united in a common cause. RBC has long been a supporter of health and wellness causes. We are particularly proud to have supported the York Central Hospital Foundation in their fundraising for Ruth and Stuart Coxford, family chemotherapy, and medical day unit with a donation from RBC Foundation for $250,000. This is in addition to local fundraising for Hospital Foundation our employees have organized the past couple of years, from selling teddy bears and pink armbands to participating in Walk for the Cure. This amounted to over $5,000 over the past year. Like you, we know a healthy community is a strong community. Together, we have proven we have the power to make a difference and bring better access to quality healthcare right here in the York region. Achievements like this do not just happen. They take a lot of hard work and dedication by a lot of people over many years. So I would like to acknowledge York Central Hospital Foundation, including the foundation members, RBC branch manager Sherry Canning and my colleague Maria Bosniak, and many donors and volunteers whose combined effort has made tonight's celebration possible. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for making our community dream come true. Thank you.
folks. We're especially proud to be here today to recognize the outstanding commitment and support of Ruth and Stuart Coxford and their family. Ruth, as has been said, began volunteering for York Central Hospital even before almost it was built in 1961. Since then, she has worked in many departments across the hospital and has held many positions in the Volunteer Association of York Central Hospital. For the past 17 years, Ruth has been volunteering in the chemotherapy clinic, as we heard. Stuart, too, has graciously given his time to York Central Hospital, first as a member of York Central Hospital Foundation's Board of Director, then as a member of the hospital's Board of Trustees, and more recently as a member of the Foundation's Share the Spirit of Care campaign. And almost as important to me is he's a fabulous knowledge of anything to do with the Civil War in the South, which he regales me with many, many stories. Following in their footsteps, Nancy, their daughter, joined the Foundation's Board of Directors in 2000 and served on numerous committees. She also chaired the board from 2007 to June 2009. I got to tell you, she was an absolutely awesome chairperson, and it was wonderful to work with her. She currently holds a position of past chair and is actively involved in our annual gala, our Public Relations and Communications Committee, and a host of other equally important activities. Ruth, Stuart, and Nancy, and her two siblings, Stephen and Susan. There's Susan. And there's Stephen right there. Generously directed their Share the Spirit of Care campaign gifts to fund the Ruth and Stuart Coxford Chemotherapy and Medical Day Unit. The Coxford family has been steadfast and unwavering in their commitment and support to York Central Hospital. It is my honor, first of all, to thank them very, very much for everything that they've done, and secondly, it's a privilege to invite the Coxford family forward.
I am when I'm speaking, so. It's hard for me to talk about this because it means so much to me. As I said, I started my volunteering in January 64. Hospital opened its doors in November 63. And we stood out on the steps just outside here and watched the ribbon being cut, and it was a miserable day, a cold, blustery day. And I right away got into the volunteering, and I worked in many different departments, did palliative care, worked with the pediatric department in so many different areas. And the last, I guess, 17, 18 years, I have been in the or in the chemo clinic. And I have to tell a story about Dr. Ian. She said it's all right if I tell it. She came 25 years ago to the hospital, and I remember seeing this girl in the hallway with a blazer and a pleated skirt, and I kept looking for her school crest on and I saw her and didn't think too much about her, thought she was a teenager, and then I saw her again, so I made some, asked around, and I discovered she was our oncologist on the staff now. So it's been such a pleasure for me to work with these people in the chemo clinic. I can't say enough about them. People have said about me, but they're the people that deserve all the credit because they are so compassionate. They're just wonderful. Where are they all hiding? Cheryl's back there, and Marcy, and Melinda's in here. Anyway, they're just, and Robin new to our staff, but just a great addition. And of course, the ring heads it up. And they're just wonderful, wonderful people, and they've just made everything so great for me, and I'm so happy to be able to help them, and thank you for your kind words, Christine. I am a cancer survivor, and she is also, and so they're really in love with this hospital, and so I thank you all for your help to the hospital, your financial help, and it's just so wonderful to see this, and we have a blanket. We're really fighting for that blanket warmer, and so
I had my cataract at Southlake. That's a nasty word, but anyway, I had it done up there, and they put a warm blanket on me. And I thought, why can't we have one of them in the chemo clinic? So we've got it now. So any patients here, you'll get your warm blanket now. Anyway, I thank you so much for everything you said, and I'm just so thrilled about this whole thing. So thank you.
Gentlemen, that concludes the formal aspects of tonight's ceremonies. To once again thank everybody who came out today, our donors, our staff, family and friends. And I'd like to now invite everybody to please go on to the other side of the room and help yourselves to refreshments, fruits and desserts, and just talk with everybody and have a good time. Thank you very much, everybody.
How are you doing?
You want to? Who are you? We're blocking the way to the...
She picked up your message, she showed up.
You're the no-show golf team.
You can see my golf team.
Bringing into... Well, I think it's another wonderful day at York Central Hospital. We've had a great occasion to celebrate a number of openings in the last probably 6 to 8 months as phase one work is finished, and all the hard work that everybody's put into this process, and the generous donors that we have in the town of Richmond Hill and Southern York region.